There is a line you cross in silence, a moment where you stop waiting for permission and start commanding your future. That line is called self-worth. Until you step over it, no strategy will save you, no motivation will move you, and no opportunity will stay. Because the world doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you believe you deserve. And most people? They're not broke because of money. They're broke because they've accepted a discounted version of themselves. But the second you decide, not wish, not hope, decide that you are worth more, everything changes. Your energy shifts, your standard rises, your destiny takes shape. This is not about arrogance. This is about alignment. You don't become rich by accident. You become rich the moment you stop negotiating your value and start embodying it. There comes a moment, quiet, still, invisible to the world, when something shifts inside you. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, but it is absolute. It is the moment you stop begging life to treat you better, and you decide you are worth better. This is not a choice you make with words. It's a choice that rises from the depths of your being. A decision that echoes louder than doubt, stronger than fear, clearer than any excuse you've ever told yourself. It is the moment when you draw a line in the sand and say, I no longer tolerate a life that underestimates me. That is the moment you begin to rise. Not because the world suddenly changes for you, but because you finally change your identity. The silent self-image that's been dictating every choice, every dream delayed, every success refused. Wealth is not a number. It is a state of belief, a declaration of value, and value begins with you. You don't attract wealth because you chase it. You attract it when you no longer chase approval. You attract it when you walk like you belong. When you stop trying to be chosen and choose yourself. That is the rich mindset. Not entitlement, not arrogance, but a deep, unshakable knowing. I am worthy of more because I am becoming more. Look around. Every empire ever built began not with money, but with a mindset. A person who looked at their empty hands and still saw gold. A person who looked at a cracked mirror and still saw a king. A person who had every reason to doubt, but refused to settle for less than they were born for. Do you know what the poor mindset says? It whispers, I'll believe I'm enough when I have enough. But the rich mindset, it declares, I have enough because I am enough. That shift changes everything. It changes how you show up. You no longer walk into rooms trying to shrink to fit. You walk in as if you own the room, not because you're better, but because you stopped pretending you were less. It changes how you spend time. You stop wasting hours explaining your worth to people committed to misunderstanding you. You start investing time in mastery, in clarity, in energy. Because you know your future is not built on excuses, but execution. You stop chasing people who never saw your value. You start chasing standards, your own. You hold yourself to them even when no one's watching, especially then. Because the rich mindset isn't about proving, it's about becoming. Becoming the version of you that doesn't break when tested, that doesn't fold when doubted, that doesn't wait for permission to dream big. Because you've already given it to yourself. You stop asking, do I deserve this? You start declaring, "This is who I am now." That voice, that internal certainty, is louder than any external noise. It silences scarcity, it outlasts setbacks. It creates a gravitational pull so strong that money, opportunities, connections, they find you. Because they are drawn to certainty, people pay more to be around someone who knows who they are. They invest in conviction. They follow belief. And belief begins in the mirror. You want to become rich? Then start with the decision that most people fear to make. The decision to stop negotiating with your worth. Because life is not waiting to give you what you're worth. It's waiting for you to decide you're worth it. That is the quiet power of the rich. They don't scream louder. They stand firmer. They don't chase applause. They embody alignment. Their mindset walks into a room 5 minutes before their body does. They don't need to be seen. They are undeniable. And you can feel it, can't you? That pull in your soul, telling you that you were never meant to stay small. That voice whispering that your doubt was never yours to carry. That you've always known, deep down, that you were built for more. Now is the time to stop postponing that version of you. Now is the time to stop betraying yourself with mediocrity. The life you dream of is not waiting at the top of some mountain. It's waiting on the other side of one decision. I will never again abandon my worth. The world has lied to you. It told you to earn your worth, to wait until someone validates you, to chase titles, achievements, status symbols, and then, maybe then, you'll be enough. But here's the truth. You were born with worth. What you choose to do with it is your responsibility, but it was never missing. It's the belief that you are already valuable that transforms how you live. When you know you are worthy, you stop auditioning for a life that is already yours to claim. You stop waiting for the job to feel powerful. You stop waiting for the applause to feel seen. You stop waiting for the money to act wealthy. Instead, you become wealth in how you speak. You become wealth in how you walk, how you breathe, how you treat others, how you treat yourself. You become wealth in silence when no one's watching. When you refuse to give up after another door slams shut because you know the world doesn't close what was built for you. People talk about manifesting wealth, but true manifestation is not magic. It is alignment. It is thought married with belief, fused with action, rooted in identity. You will not rise beyond the identity you've accepted. If deep down you still see yourself as broken, unworthy, invisible, the world will reflect that image back to you in every conversation, every rejection, every price tag you dare not reach for. But when you decide, truly decide, that you are done living beneath your potential, the world begins to shift. Because you shift, your posture changes, your voice carries more certainty, your habits become sacred. You no longer wake up hoping for the day to go well. You command it. You don't wait for motivation. You move with intention. You don't wish for discipline. You build it in the dark, in the 5 a.m. mornings, the late night studies, the unsexy repetitions when nobody cheers for you. Because that's what the rich do. They move without an audience. They act without applause. They build when others are busy doubting and rise while others sleep. Success doesn't come to the most talented. It comes to the most aligned. People ask, what's the secret? Here it is. Decide you are worth it, then act like it every damn day. You are not tired, you are uninspired, you are not stuck, you are undecided, you are not broken, you are just disconnected from who you truly are. Reconnect, reclaim, remember. The wealthy version of you is not a fantasy. It's a memory of who you were always meant to become. Before fear, before rejection, before society wrapped your fire in chains and told you to be realistic. Realism is for those who've given up. Vision is for those who are building what's never been seen. You are not here to repeat what's been done. You are here to rise above it, to look at everything that tried to define you, your past, your mistakes, your upbringing, your failures, and say, thank you for shaping me, but you do not own me. Richness is not just money. It is depth. It is clarity. It is spiritual, mental, emotional, financial power, moving together in harmony. It is knowing you're worthy of love without chasing it, worthy of peace without sacrificing yourself for it, worthy of abundance without betraying your soul to get it. Your energy becomes sacred. You no longer entertain what drains you. You no longer prove yourself to those who aren't even ready to receive you. Because when you know your value, you know your price, and you know when not to negotiate. You want to build wealth. Start by no longer tolerating poverty of the mind. Start by feeding your spirit. Start by consuming content that lifts your standard. Start by speaking to yourself like someone who is going places. Because you are. You are not chasing a better life. You're becoming the kind of person who creates it. And yes, there will be pain. The pain of leaving behind old identities, people who liked you better when you were smaller, habits that numb but never nourish. But that pain, it's the price of your next level, and the rich pay it gladly. They don't avoid discomfort, they invite it, because they know diamonds are made under pressure. Every setback is shaping your resilience. Every disappointment is chiseling your focus. Every rejection is refining your vision. Nothing is wasted when you decide you're worth it. No lesson, no heartbreak, no silence, no delay. You're not behind. You're being built. And one day, when you walk into the life that once felt too big to dream, you'll look back and realize it didn't happen because of luck. It happened because of a decision. A decision to act rich before you felt rich. To move like you were already chosen. To stop apologizing for being powerful. To no longer wait for life to hand you a throne and instead build one from discipline, belief, and fire. You are not born to blend in. You are not born to bow down to doubt, to shrink under expectations, to chase scraps from tables you were meant to own. You were born to rise, not because someone gave you permission, but because you remembered who you are. Everything begins there. Not in your bank account, not in your resume, not in your circumstances, but in your self-concept. Because the world doesn't treat you based on your potential. It treats you based on how you see yourself. If you see yourself as ordinary, the world agrees. If you see yourself as powerful, the world adapts. Not immediately, but inevitably. And you must hold that vision through the storms, through the seasons where nothing is blooming yet, but the roots are growing deeper than ever. The universe doesn't test your dreams. It tests your alignment. It asks, do you want this for real, or just when it's convenient? Because the rich mindset is not built on convenience, it is built on commitment. Not loud, not glamorous, but relentless. It's built on the days when you want to quit, but don't. The days when you hear the doubt and still choose belief. The days when your heart is heavy, but your purpose is heavier. You don't get rich by waiting to feel like it. You get rich by building rituals that don't depend on your feelings. By becoming the kind of person who keeps showing up, who keeps planting, even when the harvest feels far away. You build the identity of someone who no longer seeks motivation, because you've built a system. Discipline is wealth. Focus is wealth. Decisiveness is wealth. Clarity is wealth. Stillness is wealth. Saying no is wealth. Saying yes to what aligns, even when it scares you, is wealth. And it all begins the day you stop running from yourself. You stop outsourcing your destiny to luck, to timing, to other people's approval. You reclaim your life like it's your birthright, because it is. You stop explaining your dreams to people committed to mediocrity. You stop shrinking to make others feel comfortable. You learn to stand tall, not because life got easier, but because you got clearer. Clear about what you tolerate, clear about what you believe, clear about who you are, and more importantly, who you refuse to be anymore. Because here's the truth. Every new level of life demands a new level of you. And most people aren't willing to let go of who they were, even when it's costing them who they could become. But not you, not anymore. You don't fear evolution, you invite it. You don't run from pressure, you perform under it. You don't ask if you're ready, you decide you are. That's how the rich move. They don't predict the future, they create it by aligning their mindset with the outcome they demand. And that outcome starts in the smallest moments. The choice to wake up early. The choice to invest in your mind. The choice to walk away from what's draining your power. The choice to pursue what expands your soul. You want to be rich? Then act like your time is precious, like your energy is sacred, like your legacy is real. You don't have to hustle endlessly, but you do have to move with intention. You do have to protect your vision like it's your future, because it is. Most people never change because they are more loyal to their limitations than their possibilities. But the rich, they are more loyal to growth than to comfort. They are more obsessed with purpose than with pleasure. They are more focused on becoming who, not just what, they want to be. Because being rich is not a result, it's an identity. And the moment you embody that identity, the moment you walk, speak, think, invest, decide like someone who belongs at the top, everything around you starts to reorganize. Opportunities open. People respect you differently. Your own thoughts sharpen like a blade. You are no longer confused. You are certain. You are no longer waiting. You are walking. And every step you take says something powerful to the universe. I'm ready now, not someday. Not when it's easier. Not when they believe in me. I believe in me. There is nothing more dangerous than a person who has remembered their worth. Because when you remember your worth, you become unshakable. You stop chasing validation. You stop explaining your magic to those who are blind to it. You stop waiting for the world to recognize your value, because you already did. And in that moment, you become magnetic. Not because you're trying to be, but because confidence, real confidence, cannot be faked. It radiates, it commands, it transcends words, and everything in your life begins to rise to meet your new standard. The rich mindset doesn't say, "I hope I make it." It declares, "I am it." It doesn't whisper, "Maybe I'm good enough." It roars, "I was born for this." And it's not because life became easy. It's because you became impossible to defeat. Every hardship taught you to be resourceful. Every rejection built your resilience. Every lonely night clarified your vision. Every risk, whether it worked out or not, rewired your soul to believe in boldness. You didn't get here by chance. You got here by choice. You chose to rise while others complained. You chose to grow while others scrolled. You chose to bet on yourself when no one clapped. You chose to stay committed when comfort begged you to quit. And that choice, your choice, made you powerful. Because the rich mindset is not inherited. It's not given. It is forged. Forged in silence, in sweat, in sacrifice, in the moments you kept your word to yourself, even when the world offered you a way out. You want to know what real wealth is? Real wealth is the moment you stop needing external things to feel internal peace. It's when your self-worth is no longer measured by numbers, likes, opinions, or applause. It's when you own your identity so fully that nothing can cheapen it. And from that place, that deep, anchored, grounded place, you become unstoppable. Money becomes a tool, not a master. Success becomes a mirror of who you already are. And legacy becomes the natural consequence of living in truth. Because when you live in alignment, when your mindset, your vision, your actions, your values all move in harmony, the world bends. It bends toward you. It opens doors you thought were closed. It brings people you never imagined. It accelerates what once felt impossible. Not because you begged, but because you became. You became someone who no longer waited. You became someone who no longer begged. You became someone who no longer feared their power. You decided you were worth it. And that is the moment the universe started saying, yes. So from this moment on, walk like you belong. Speak like you are already chosen. Act like abundance is your natural state. Decide like your future depends on it, because it does. Stop postponing your greatness. Stop negotiating with your past. Stop asking permission to be extraordinary. You don't need it. You're not here to be liked. You're here to lead. You're not here to fit in. You are here to elevate. And the elevation begins not when the world changes, but when you do. You're not your old story. You're not your fears. You are not your failures. You are not your delay. You are your decisions. So decide now. Decide that you are enough. Decide that you are worthy. Decide that wealth belongs to you. Not someday, not if, not maybe, but now. You become rich the moment you stop asking for it and start embodying it. And from that moment forward, you are no longer becoming. You are. If this message stirred something deep within you, if it reminded you of who you are and what you're here to become, then don't let the feeling fade. Subscribe to this channel. Share this video with someone who needs to remember their worth. Leave a comment below. I decide I'm worth it. This isn't just content. This is your new standard. We're building a community of minds that don't settle, that don't play small, that live boldly, build legacy, and walk with purpose. If you're ready to step into the rich mindset, not someday, but now, this is your home. Because you don't attract what you want, you attract what you believe you are worth. And from this moment on, you decide.